part. Or that, hey, you know, so you put it out, we're buying your part, but once you graduate, you can't walk it.
Yeah, don't lynch the word there.
I did. Is it dark in here or is it just me?
No.
Yeah, but the backlights went on.
How do we ever fix you?
These are stupid. I was doing the same thing I've done for the last couple of weeks.
There you go.
There's always water ground stones that sold in their driveways, and I take them up and then I show. And I think maybe 3 dozen of them. On Saturday, the second one I picked up. Yeah, that first day of and more stability and I take the risk at this one.
Okay, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Tabernacle Township Workshop for November 10th. If you would mind standing, we'll do a flag salute.
The United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Sunshine notice. This meeting is called pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Law. This meeting of November the 10th, 2014 was included in the list of notices into the Central Record, Burlington County Times, and Courier Post, posted on the bulletin board in Town Hall, and has remained continuously posted as required notices under the statute. In addition, a copy of this notice has been available to the public and is on file in the office of the municipal clerk. We have roll call. Ms. Brown.
Here.
Mr. Franzen.
Here.
Mr. Lee.
Here.
Mr. Yates.
Here.
Mayor Barton.
Present. Okay, public comment on agenda items only. Anyone that would like to comment on agenda items, please come forward, state your name and address. Mr. Brooks?
Stuart Brooks, 78 Moores Meadow Road, Tabernacle. Good evening. I have questions on 2 items. One is the resolution 2014-162 regarding the agreement with Evesham Township. The resolution speaks of the exchange of free advertising, and I'd like to know if that is outdoor advertising, the kind of advertising that's visible from a motor vehicle.
The advertisement, as I understand it, is nothing more than posting on our website a link to Evesham Township. And then also, we don't have Facebook or Twitter. The other, I believe, part of it is an opportunity for them to come and have a table of events in the Tabernacle.
Thank you. The other question concerns item 5C, resolution 2014-160, approving budget transfers. Mr. Henry, this one might be for you.
Yes.
What's that about? What's being transferred and why?
There are, we anticipated several shortfalls, so we're just transferring money that we had extra in some line items into the ones that we're anticipating that shortfall.
How is it that those shortfalls resulted on these two items?
On which items? There's a number.
The rescue squad building and the...
Oh, that's a different one.
That's not
That-
shortfall. Read the ordinance.
Did I get my numbers wrong? I may have my mistake, I apologize. It's Resolution 2014-161
Oh, okay.
regarding the cancellation of unexpended improvement authorizations to capital service. I apologize for the confusion.
Okay, so that's the one you're...
That is the one. What's that about? And
Those are appropriations in our capital that we deemed that are done and it has money left. So in order to cancel those out and use that money for something else, we have to do this ordinance canceling those unexpended items to surplus.
I see. How is it that they're unexpended?
The ambulance stretchers, we didn't need that money anymore, but we had the ordinance appropriating it. So now we're just canceling whatever was left. And same for the rescue squad. There may be still some left in there, but we can cancel the 102 and leave the balance for those items that we may have to purchase in the future.
Is that on the rescue squad building funds, is that
Came in under
came in under budget? Okay. Very good. Thank you both.
Okay, anyone else for agenda items? Mrs. Brooks?
Fran Brooks, Morris Meadow Road. Just a couple questions. Regarding the executive session and the RFPs, how many professionals are you considering? Do these RFPs cover?
Well, we advertised for all the bids for all the positions, and the committee, I don't believe they've all got a chance to review all the bids yet. We're going to look at them. We have a spreadsheet of who bid, what they bid on, and we'll consider all positions.
Okay, so that would be Mr. Henry's position, the engineer, I think the environmental consultant. That's
Environmental
3.
consultant.
Mr. Lang's position is 4. Any others?
Mr. Henry.
Oh, not Mr. Henry.
No.
Oh, sorry, that's right. Sorry, thanks, guys. So that's Mr. Lang, the environmental consultant, the engineer. Anybody else? Am I missing anybody?
Environmental consultant, bond counsel, architect, township engineer. We received bids, while we won't consider this, but the land development board will, for their engineer, for their attorney, township auditor, public defender, prosecutor, township attorney, and a site plan engineer.
Okay. Are any decisions, final decisions being made tonight on any of those positions, and if so, which positions?
I don't expect that we'll make a decision tonight. The committee will look at them. We may want to interview some of the professionals that have submitted proposals and make a decision at a later date.
Okay. Just back to the question about the shared services agreement with the Evesham Golf Club. That decision to enter the shared services with Evesham Golf Club is right now restricted to website advertising. Is there any chance that this could morph into outdoor advertising? In other words, street signs?
Now, the agreement that we received from Evesham, I was invited Mayor Randy Brown invited all the mayors of Burlington County to Indian Springs to basically say, here's our course. We'd like to enter into a shared services agreement, and for that agreement, we would give a reduced cost to your residents if you become a shared service with us. So they would reduce, if we were to pass this tonight, in exchange for a reduced rate, we would tie it to our website, tie their facility, and we would offer an opportunity for them to come to any events with a table. That's the extent of it.
Okay.
And it's a 2-year agreement.
Is there a reason why you're doing a 2-year agreement rather than a 1-year agreement?
That's what was proposed. For anyone that golfs in Tabernacle, that plays golf at Indian Springs, it's a savings. If you don't golf, there's nothing in it for you.
Yeah. Okay, I'm just curious on the question. And just regarding the monies that are going back, that are in unexpended improvement authorization to capital services, does this additional money go into the general fund, Mr. Hannon?
No,
No, so where does it get directed?
it goes into capital surplus.
It just goes into capital surplus, so it'll be
Used
there
for other projects,
for other projects that might come up?
yes.
Okay. Okay, so we're trying to...
Or we could use that surplus to, in the current budget if we decided to try to lower taxes that way.
Okay, so it could be redirected
It could be.
out of the capital surplus?
Right.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify that. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else from the public on agenda items? Okay, seeing none, close the public portion. Motion to approve the bills.
So moved.
Second.
So was that second by Franzen?
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Franzen?
Yes.
Mr. Lee?
Yes.
Mr. Yates?
Yes.
Mayor Barton?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, resolution 2014-158, approving the Burns County Farmland Preservation Program on the acquisition target list.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion required? Seeing none, roll call.
Ms. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Franzen?
Yes.
Mr. Lee?
Yes.
Mr. Yates?
Yes.
Mayor Barton?
Yes.
Thank
Resolution 2014-159, approving a seasonal snowplow driver labor appointment for the Public Works Department. The motion?
I'll make it.
Second.
Second. Doug, do you want to comment on this?
We're adding Mr. Soames to our pool of drivers that we use to supplement our full-time employee joint snow
Okay. Roll call?
Ms. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Franzen?
Yes.
Mr. Lee?
Abstain.
Mr. Yates?
Yes.
Mayor Barton?
Yes.
Thank you.
Resolution 2014-160, approving budget transfers. Motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Ms. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Franzen?
Yes.
Mr. Lee?
Yes.
Mr. Yates?
Yes.
Mayor Barton?
Yes. Resolution 2014-161, and canceling appropriations to surplus. Motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Ms. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Franzen?
Yes.
Mr. Lee?
Yes.
Mr. Yates?
Yes.
Mayor Barton?
Yes. Resolution 2014-162, authorizing the execution of an agreement with Eastham Township for participation in the Eastham Golf Course Municipal Partners Program, or agreement.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion required?
I have some comments.
Go for it.
I'm concerned about the requirement of a Facebook and a Twitter account, and I don't feel that, we should be put in a position where we may have to set something up and ask staff to do that. I'm also concerned that I think the $5 per person, that this benefits a minimum amount of people in the town, and really it's not worth it. And I'm also concerned about having to possibly provide tables and such at public events. I don't know if this means that every time we hold an event that maybe runs through the rec committee or something, that we have to have a table set up for someone. And overall, I just am philosophically opposed to advertising for other townships. What are we going to do next? Advertise for Atlantic City casinos or something? So I don't think it opens a good book for us to be reading. And for that reason, I'm not in favor of this motion.
This, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
The resolution that I've got in my packet, indicates there's no commitment for any advertising on our website. Is that accurate?
I believe it's, they want a link
Unless I'm on the wrong one.
Website.
They want it on the main page.
2014-162. But it's not indicated in the resolution. It's on this one.
This is a backup document.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Which is the agreement that goes with the resolution.
The 3 paragraph A would be relevant paragraph.
So considering we have no Facebook or Twitter, it doesn't really apply.
Right.
I read this. I read the agreement Friday, and all I saw was I didn't realize the agreement was included in this, but anyway. So the Facebook and Twitter part's out of this agreement, so it doesn't really apply to us anyway.
That's correct. Okay.
Well, we assume that, I mean, I'd like to assume that, but we don't know. I mean, it says that we're going to announce the program quarterly on Facebook and Twitter, and to me, that could mean that we would then have to have a Facebook and Twitter account to do that. If it's, not part of the agreement that we have to have those accounts, then there really shouldn't be any reference to the resolution at all.
I did speak with East Hampton Township, and they are aware that we don't have Facebook or Twitter, and we have no intention of having a Facebook or Twitter account. So I would suggest we eliminate that from the agreement.
Something else to remember is we can give them written notice and terminate this within 90 days. So if we're not happy with it, we'll still give them a 90-day notice telling them we're going to terminate this agreement.
My concern is the fact that, according to this agreement, we're supposed to advertise them on our front page of our website. We're not even advertising our own businesses on the front page of our website.
Well, I was going to say, that's like Joe's saying, that's something else we can exclude.
I just think the trade-off, what you're getting is the extra work you're putting on the staff and making the things that they need to promote it's not quite a fair trade-off. $5 in the grand scheme of golfing isn't much.
Well, I mean, the way I'm looking at it seriously is, we can exclude the entire paragraph of 3, responsibilities of the partnership municipality, or partner municipality. Exclude the whole thing, A and B.
Well, how many different, when you really look at it, how many different events are there that we would even have to have a table? They're not going to put a table in the Memorial Day Parade.
Well, I understand it, but, agreeing with Ken, we're not even advertising our own local businesses, so why on earth would we want to?
We don't do it on the homepage. The only place we do it is on, if you have to click. You
Right.
click into it, 2 or 3, I think you said like 3 clicks or something. Where we have other businesses, and which is where this would have to go. Mount Laurel just rejected this, but that was because of their, because they've got other golf courses in town, they get all that.
Any other discussion required?
I hit the button.
Can we, how do we make modifications to this agreement? Can we do that as a part of the resolution?
Yeah, I think we can modify it and see if it's acceptable to East Hampton Township.
Person making the motion would be asked to modify it, and then the second of the motion was to support that, and I would agree with you, vote.
I'm gonna make a motion, we accept this agreement with Evesham Township, but eliminating bullet point number 3 under now therefore in consideration of the mutual promises, which would eliminate the essentially the responsibilities of the advertising on the homepage and the table and chairs at the township events.
Does that then make it not an agreement if there's
Exactly,
nothing that we're
there's no
offering?
trading.
It's not, they can accept it or not accept it.
Yeah.
That's what I said.
Somebody would like this second with the elimination of item 3?
I think only Joe can, right, because he seconded the original motion.
Correct.
You okay with that, Joe?
Yes, I am.
Okay. A roll call?
Thank you. Ms. Brown?
No.
Mr. Franzen?
I don't know how you feel.
That's what it's based on.
She was looking at you when she said it.
I can't even say no now. No.
Mr. Lee?
Yes.
Mr. Yates?
Yes.
Mayor Barton?
Yes. Okay. Old business? New business?
Yeah, in your package, you received a copy of the best practice worksheet. It's something that for the last few years, the state has had us go, Doug and I go over these 50 questions and come up with sort of our best practices that we should or that we do. I'm not going to go over all 50 questions, but in the back there, it's the percentage that we come up to, which means that we'll get all of our state aid, which is actually only a reduction of the last payment, but we'll get 100% of that last payment of the state aid. So if there's any questions that you have on any particular question or 50 questions, we can talk about those. There'll also be a copy of this on file in the clerk's office. If anybody else wanted to.
Any questions for Mr. Henry? Okay, we'll move to reports. Mr. Kramer?
Just want to report that the Brockton County Municipal Joint Insurance Fund made their dividend announcement for 2014. Overall, the fund provided $450,000 in dividends to the 26 communities. Our portion was $6,218. We have a couple choices what to do with that money. In the past, we have applied it as a total credit to the, in this case, the 2015 JIP assessment. We could take it in a form of a check, or we could apply it with a resolution to the aggregate excess loss contingency fund, which is there to supplement deductibles and that if you chose to do it that way. In the past, we've applied it to the next year's assessment, and my recommendation is to do that again this year.
Okay.
If you're okay with that, I'll need
Everyone all right with that? So we'll have a resolution prepared for that?
No, I don't need a resolution, I just need a motion.
You just need a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Ms. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Franzen?
Yes.
Mr. Lee?
Yes.
Mr. Yates? Mayor Barton?
Yes.
Thank you.
Mr. Kramer, could you talk about the blinking lights over at the school and what you have done since our last meeting, since it usually comes up and I go by there, I see they are working now.
They should be on tonight,
They're not on.
because I'm
They're
manually,
working when they're supposed to be working.
I'm manually turning them off and on. We've talked to the company. They are sending us a control box to replace the system in there. apparently the control box, for whatever reason, is losing it's selectively losing its program, not consistently the same way, but it is from the original sign in 1998, so it's served us well, but its time is done. I've talked to the company. There was some concern about the amount of time that they're available to be on. I've talked to the manufacturer about what updates we could do so they would be available for eight hours a day. They've given me some preliminary cost. I'm waiting for a final estimate on them, but it seems to be in the $5,500 to $6,000 range to upgrade those signs. Also, we've had some discussion about that cost and whether to approach the school board and whether they'd want to pick up that cost and keep the lights, or go back to the present approved signage that will be available that would go from 25 when flashing to 25 when the children are present, which is what was there before. My recommendation is that we offer the school board, once we get them working as they should with the new control box, the opportunity to update them if they wish and take over control of them, or we remove them and put the signage up, so we do not cause the community to become confused about when they should or should not be.
Okay, so we have a temporary fix in getting a new controller.
Yes.
Right? And while they may look like state-of-the-art, they're not state-of-the-art because now the upgrade, I guess, would be LED lights.
LED lights, a larger solar panel, a reduced the controller that actually takes care of converting the solar to the power that they need. There's a more efficient unit now available. We've upgraded those. So the overall wattage and amperage use would be reduced, so the solar panels would be able to carry that load for 8 hours.
Okay. And that upgrade was how much?
I haven't got a final figure in writing, but the estimate was somewhere between $55,000 and $6,000.
For both or each?
For both.
And then the other option is to eliminate them completely?
Yes.
Just put signage out there?
Upgrade the signage to what is currently available now, as opposed to what used to be. It's a little brighter, it's a little more vivid, and there's a number of signs, and to bring them into compliance that way, so that it would be whenever the children were present, and that's when the 25 speed limit would be enforced.
And that would be weekends included, if there were school events, sporting events, anytime children are there?
The normal accepted time is 8 to 3:30, but yes, if there were children in the presence, vision of the road, you would be expected to do the speed limit, is my understanding.
Mr. Lang, would you mind, I know you're a municipal judge, would you share your opinion on the signage? Is that a better way to go? Does it give us better coverage?
Well, I think that the desensitizing of the public is a significant issue, as has been raised by members of the public, and I think that that is a big issue. In my opinion, with the signs leading into the school zone and out of the school zone, you get a broader swath of restriction, I think. And it also causes people to err on the side of caution, because if it's normal business school hours or after hours where there are activities occurring, people are going to more often than not say, well, we need to be going 25 when, daylight hours and of course hours which are considerably outside of school hours, maybe they'll be less willing to, but I think you end up with a larger area than the blinking lines the signs would provide for. The blinking signs certainly are much more visible and impacting when they're lit. The problem is the desensitization, and more importantly to me, the broader area that's covered by the sign.
Okay. How does the rest of the committee feel about what Doug suggested? getting the signs working and talking to the schools. I'll be turn it over to them or go back to just hard signage without lights.
My initial, reaction is that it should be something that the school handles, period. And if we can't work it out with the lighted system, then the signage to me is a perfect solution. Sweet and simple, is what I say.
So the problem for the public, the problem with the lights are, there's a battery, so the solar panel charges the battery, and then there's a controller. There's not enough battery to last all day. So the lights come on in the morning, they shut off in the morning, and they come back on in the afternoon, shut back off in the afternoon. If the controller fails for some reason, and the lights stay on, and they flash all night, the battery's dead. So in the morning, when the kids have to go to school, there's no power in the battery to get started while the sun comes up and recharges the battery. So that's the issue we're faced with.
Joe, personally, I agree with Rick. I think the township should just totally remove itself from any possible liability. So if the school district does not want to take it over, then we abandon that sign and we put signs up like Doug's, suggesting. That removes any liability that we have, but still give, we still have the responsibility of putting those signs up.
Anyone else?
Well, we have a crosswalk sign that they ignore anyway, so. People are standing in the crosswalk and the cars are still, we have staff that go out there and go to make cars stop. Even
Is there
though-
something on the road too?
There is, but people just don't pay attention sometimes.
Speed bumps.
Crosswalk is striped,
It is.
and the proper signage is there for a crosswalk.
Oh, I'm not saying it's not, I'm just saying that people just aren't paying attention, even when there are people present. It should, unfortunately, people are in a hurry these days.
Okay. Well, Mr. Kramer and I will take an action item to meet with the school and share our concerns and see what direction they want to go. Okay, thanks, Doug.
You're welcome.
Mr. Lang?
I just want to remind the committee and the public that we will have the hearing for the local finance board on Wednesday on the committee's application for dissolution of the fire district. Also want to report that we did touch base again with the Pinelands today over the Medford Park zoning ordinance. They have it, they have our maps, they're working on it, we were told, and that we will hear from them. That was the same reply that I spoke to them at last meeting, but we did follow up with them, and they know we're anxious to move forward, so I expect we'll be hearing from them. But that was the word that we got from today, and so that's all I have for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lang. Committeeman Yates?
Yes, I would like to wish Committeeman Brown a happy birthday. It's her 29th again, I understand. And the other thing I have to say is go Eagles.
Looks like you're ready.
I'm ready. Meeting over?
Committeeman Franson?
Well, I'm taking the game, Joe, so I'm right there with you. And interest in brevity and getting the meeting over with, I'm going to pass.
Okay. Committeewoman Brown?
Just a little follow-up, you asked me to work with Mr. Kramer with the shared services with the courts. We're still working on that, we're getting close, but we still have a few things to iron out that we're looking into. So I just want to let you know it is moving forward, just not as fast as, but we are moving.
Jeff, I do have a correction to what I said. I wish Committeewoman.
I knew what you meant.
Deputy Mayor Lee?
A couple things. I missed last meeting because I was spending close to last week plus 2.5 weeks hosting a plethora of people, including 4 New Jersey Assembly people, 2 U.S. Senators, 1 State Senator, 1 Secretary of Ag, and a Congressman-elect. The cranberry harvest down home, and things went well, but
You forgot a mayor. You had a mayor there.
I had a mayor there too. Yeah, Mayor Barker was there too. I forgot about
Reported
him.
last month.
Sorry. Any event, the neat part about hosting those folks to come to the cranberry harvest, I get to talk about Tabernacle too, which I really like. I'm kind of wearing 2 hats, so that was good. I also wanted to recognize the passing of Joe Conti, as well as Frank Casano. Frank Casano was actually a resident of West Hampton, but was a relative of the Russo family, so it was a big loss for their family, and of course Joe Conti. And I'd also like to recognize Committeewoman Brown, not necessarily for her birthday, but for her re-election this past week. We're certainly blessed to have her on committee, and I'd like to congratulate her on her re-election. That's all I have, Mayor.
I just want to thank the residents for voting for me, because they didn't have to, because they could have chosen not to. But thank you, I want to thank you for doing so.
And Kim, I had that also in my report to congratulate you, but also with that, we have a new 3rd Congressional Congressman in Tom MacArthur, who will be representing us in Washington. We have two freeholders that are not new, but they were reseated, which is Bruce Gargano and Marianne O'Brien. And we have 3 new, well, I believe 1 new school board member. We have Kevin McCoy, Stephen Price, and of course Megan's not here, Jason, but give her our congratulations. Megan Jones is also on the school board, and of course Kim was reelected. So congratulations to all. Public comment? Jason?
It's going to take me a minute to get there, I apologize. I'm sorry. Going fast up. Hi, Jason Lenowitz, High Fortune Court. I just want to say thank you for looking into the light issue. I know it's been emotional for some people. But I just want to point out, or just want to say, in my mind at least, it's not just an issue of liability, because liability only kicks in once an injury occurs. So please, when you talk with the school board, whatever's best for for safety, whether that's the school board taking control, whether that's upgrading, whether that's replacing with dummy signs, I don't know the answer. I'm not an expert in the field, but just please do whatever's best for safety, not necessarily what's best for township liability. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public? Mrs. Brooks.
Thank you. Fred Brooks, Morris Meadow Road. Just a couple of questions regarding executive session. What is the township's policy regarding redactions of executive session minutes? I look to you, Mr. Klein.
I'm not aware of any policy.
Okay, so there is no policy. What about the approval and release of executive session minutes? Do you have a policy?
Our policy would be to review them, and as soon as they are no longer sensitive, to release them regularly, and to not delay in doing so once those minutes are sufficiently beyond any negative impact in releasing that information. So I think we do that pretty regularly. I don't remember the last time that we did a batch, but it wasn't too long ago.
Regarding my lawsuit, the open lawsuit from the TRS, the Tabernacle Rescue Squad budget, when I asked for these minutes, I ended up choosing to get them redacted. But do you have a policy regarding, this is a lawsuit that's been completed, or decided, I should say, and that part of at least the July 28th minutes was, that section was redacted. And so that's what's generating my question. That's the background to my question about redactions.
I'd be happy to consult with our clerk and talk about the merit of releasing those at this time.
Okay, and I'd like also, since you're going to do that, Mr. Lang, in one of the minutes, the April 14th executive session from 2014, there is a topic in there regarding a discussion having to do with the county requesting the removal of underground storage tanks. Now, that doesn't appear on its face to be a protected under Oprah. So I'm wondering why, not Oprah, OPMA, why that particular issue would have been redacted, because it was redacted in the minutes that were sent to me. And,
Again, I'll have to consult with the clerk and go over the merit of releasing that information. I think I can say that there is an issue with the tank and liability associated with the tank and who's responsible, and that's an ongoing issue. So, again, I'd be happy to look at that, talk to the clerk about the merit of releasing those minutes, but I don't recall with any specificity exactly the minutes that you're speaking of. But I know that there's an ongoing underground storage tank issue between the township and the county, so.
okay, does that involve any litigation?
Not yet.
Okay, so, okay, that would be good, because on its face, it's obviously, it doesn't seem to be a protected.
We'll be happy to expand on the whys and what fors if I believe that it's, and the clerking committee believe that it's necessary to keep it from public view at this point, or otherwise take action on it.
Yeah, okay, and just the other last comment I'd like to make about the executive session minutes. I know that when Mr. Cooper brought up the executive session of December 30th, 2013, regarding alleged litigation or potential litigation with the fire district, I think that the committee came back and decided to release those unredacted minutes, and I would hope that you would take the same position with my Oprah lawsuit as you took with the decision regarding Mr. Cooper and those minutes. So, thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Brooks. Anyone else from the public? Mr. McCarthy?
That's annoying. It's your alarm.
Ray McCarty, 368 Tuckerton Road. On a bright note, the repaving of Tuckerton Road between Old Indian Mills and Fort Connect went very well. 2 days, it's amazing how organized these people are and the minimum of disruption. The only glitch was that they were advertising that one side of the road would be one way one day and the other way the next, and they had that reversed in actuality. But in any event, it's just amazing how they get this stuff done. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. McCarty. Anyone else from the public? Okay, seeing none, we'll close the public portion. Executive session, whereas the governing body wishes to discuss personnel matters involving application review of the request for proposals for 2015 professional services pursuant to NJSA 10:4-12B8. This matter will be discussed in a closed session from which the public shall be excluded. After we come out of executive session, we will not be taking any further action. Mr. Lang will be excused from the executive session since we're looking at professional services. And after that session, like I said, we're not taking any public action. We'll close the meeting to the public.
Need a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Say second, Jeff?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Mr. Yates.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Thank you.
How are you?